for a safety factor, but I'll try to reach out and see if I can get a confirmation from the city.
All right, Lori.
Do we need to, I feel like we should follow up with the constituent who asked, because I feel like she's not, I don't know, have we talked to her, the one?
I included her in an email.
Okay.
I sent out some text messages, but then I included District 2 in an email, Sonda and Ann, and I didn't. And I sent the text to Nancy, and I sent it to Joe Lehman too.
Thank you.
Okay, that exhausts my speakers list. Is there a motion?
Oh, so my motion is to table it till next month, pending the report from John of, the city really is actually doing what it looks like they're doing. So table it till next month.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, there is a motion by Houserath to table to the next meeting and seconded by Lehman. Is there any public comment before we vote?
No public comment at this time.
Any in the room? All right, at this point, we'll do a roll call vote.
John Andrew.
Aye.
Diana Hammer.
Yes.
Lori Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Joseph Lehman.
Yes.
Nancy Perry.
Aye.
Ann Houserath.
Yes.
Jeff Brown.
Yes.
Paige Myers.
Yes.
Emily Mowers.
Yes.
Bob Schlock.
Here, yes. Yes.
Janet Zimmerman. Oh, she's gone.
Here too.
Chase Eaton.
Yes.
Ben Kuiper.
Aye.
Sorry. Dylan Clapmeyer.
Aye.
Denise Roth Barber.
Aye.
Susan Steffens. Is there anybody I didn't call? Susan Steffens.
Aye.
Is there anybody I didn't call?
The motion passes unanimously. Right, at this point, we'll move into the consideration for city manager recruitment. All right, so I authored this recommendations. Give me 1 second. So essentially, I wanted to present this to the HCC though, so that we could take action or perhaps give feedback to the commission regarding the city manager recruitment process. If you don't know, the city manager announced his retirement effective December 31st, 2025. And I believe it's called the City Manager Relations Subcommittee met. That consists of Mayor Collins and Commissioner Logan. And they contracted the same hiring firm that helped in the last process. And they adopted a similar timeline and process that was implemented last time. I don't know if you've seen that calendar that was the proposed calendar that was attached to the agenda for the special commission meeting, but essentially they're trying to get the entire process completed by December 31st. Since those discussions have happened at commission meetings, there's been feedback from the public that some members of the community feel this is being rushed. Some are concerned with the vagueness in the plan proposed in the outline, and they wanted further detail. And the specific ways in which community stakeholders are going to be implemented in this process wasn't exactly lined out in a way that was specific. So I drafted this recommendation. I have 3 therefore clauses, which are 3 separate recommendations, all relating to the same subject. My strategy in this was to keep it somewhat broad so that we can adapt to a possibly changing process But the first therefore clause is recommending that the city commission utilize the Helena Citizens Council during city management recruitment process, however the current city commission sees fit. During the last recruitment cycle, we consisted of a finalist board. I don't remember how the appointments were made, but I think it was 4 HCC members interviewed the final candidates who were public. We didn't come into the process until all of the candidates were announced publicly, and that's due to hiring confidentiality agreements and stuff like that. I wanted to also keep that somewhat broad so that if they do need help in some sort of neighborhood forum or public outreach program, we've proven in the past that we're able to do these things. And if they do need our help, I'd like to plan for that if possible. So that was kind of what I was aiming for in the first therefore clause. The second therefore clause addresses the fact that this city manager will start under the new mayor and commission. And there was a few public comments that were alluding to desires to have the mayor-elect and the city commissioners-elect, once decided, become an integral part in this process. That's what I wanted to address in the second therefore clause. And then the third therefore clause, I wanted to recommend that the city manager or the city commission implement a process that consists of a thorough procedure that promotes robust public involvement and is not unnecessarily constrained by time. In that, my effort was to kind of leave a broad stroke of public involvement so that we can work with whatever is proposed by the recruitment team. And then I said unnecessarily constrained by time because I wanted to ensure that there is a pool of qualified candidates that they can look at. If that isn't, in my mind, if that isn't achieved by the December 31st date, they should extend the process. And that's what I was aiming at this therefore clause. So that was my intention in putting this together. I know that some of you want to make these more specific, and I am absolutely open to that. If the body wants to go more specific in these recommendations, I will advocate for those specific points. So with that, I'll open up the floor to discussion and questions.
Could we please bring it up here so we can be looking at what we're discussing? I'm also wondering if we could also see who's online on the screen so we can.
They're right here. Are we able to put?
Usually they're up
I can put it, okay. Okay, that would be helpful. And then on the display screen, if we can get the recommendation pulled up. One more now. So
That's the last one.
another one. Is it the one that Ann sent to me?
Oh, no, you skip by it. It was.
Yeah,
Okay, my fault.
No, you're fine. Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay.
So these are the action clauses here that are displayed. People on Zoom, are you able to see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so with that, I'll open up the floor to discussion. Lori?
So Ben, can you clarify for me the second one, how it's different than the first one? I feel like it says this. I know that you talked about more things. Is it missing something?
So the first clause regards the Helena Citizens Council. And then
Okay.
the second clause considers the mayor-elect and the city commissioners-elect once they're decided.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Nancy?
When you're discussing including the people who had just been elected, who had won the election, are you saying take out the people that are no longer going to be part of the commission and only include them?
As it currently stands, no.
Yeah,
If that's something that the HCC would like to recommend, we could do an amendment on that.
But in fact, you're thinking of, right now, there are 5 commissioners, if you count the mayor. So you might have, what, 8 commissioners, you might have 8 people voting on it.
Well,
Probably. And
and just, Mr. Chair, to to recommend that. I would think that until the new, we know there's gonna be one new commissioner, right? Until she's sworn in, my reading of this is she would be included in the process, but would not be a voting member because the current commission makes the decisions up until the new people are sworn in. Anyway, I drafted I like this. I think it's fine with one possible exception I'll get to, but I drafted 2 things to make it more specific. I went to the meeting Monday night and there were 5 of us who spoke asking for extending the timetable. So, and right now, the timetable, which to the best of my knowledge has never been approved by the commission. The committee itself has never been approved by the commission. And so the current inclusion for the people, the members of the public in this falls around Thanksgiving. So I am proposing that we add another whereas the current timetable provides for the only public input to occur around Thanksgiving. That's a whereas. That's a reason why therefore, I'm suggesting we add a therefore, that the Helen Citizens Council recommends that the hiring timeframe be extended into 2026 to adequately include the new mayor and commission, city staff, HCC, and the public. I think it's really important that the staff have time to weigh in on this, both on the job description. A job description has gone out, but that can be amended. And so I think it's really important that more time and that we be specific that this go into the new year so that we'll have at least 1 new person. That's 1 out of 5, and possibly 2 if Emily becomes mayor. That's 40% new people. I think it's really important that we extend it into the new year. So I'm proposing both of those.
Okay, and just for a procedural consideration, if we could move those one at a time and
Oh, sure.
do them separately.
Should we look at is it possible to see the whole recommendation?
Yeah, we can scroll
That would
up
be
a
helpful.
little bit.
And I don't think it matters where the whereas or the therefore, which order they go into. I just think it's important to add them. And you did a great job, I think, Ben, in drafting this. Thank you.
And Damon, do you have a written copy of her? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's in your binder. I do have it,
Here's one.
like that. Yeah, everybody should have one. I printed it out.
Ben.
Thank you. Sorry, why don't you keep that, read the one that you want?
That's an extra. I took it from the empty set chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, further discussion?
So I would move that we add this phrase to the list of whereas. Whereas the current timetable provides for the only public input to occur around Thanksgiving. So that's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Was that Denise Rothbarber?
Yep.
Okay, there's a motion by House Rep to amend to include a whereas clause stating whereas the current timetable provides for only public input to occur around Thanksgiving. That was seconded by Rothbarber. Is there any discussion on this amendment? I just want to add that at the Monday commission meeting, there was consensus established by the commission to hold some sort of public outreach / forum event prior to November 5th. I don't know any details on that besides that they came to consensus. So
I guess I have a question. Where will it go on the document? Where will the new whereas go?
where would you like that, House Rep?
Oh. How about under, whereas, I'm just throwing this out, it's about number 2, the Helen Citizens Council has successfully conducted public outreach events in the past. I would add just as a nod into that, but we took a long time to provide, to prepare for those. I believe November 5th is 2 weeks from today. That's not enough time.
So after the
So
second
I would
where?
put it, that seems like it flows nicely. Does that look good to everybody?
So you're proposing after the fourth whereas clause.
I was thinking, yes,
Okay.
after the,
Okay, so it would be inserted after the fourth whereas clause. If anyone would like for me to reread that amendment, I can do that. All right, is there any further discussion? If not, we'll move into a vote. This is. We'll do a roll call on this one.
John Andrew. Aye. Diana Hammer,
Aye.
Lori Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Joseph Lehman,
Aye.
Nancy Perry,
Aye.
Ann Houserath,
aye,
Jeff Brown,
Aye.
Paige Myers,
Aye.
Emily Mowers,
Aye.
Bob Schlott,
Aye.
Chase Eaton,
Aye.
Ben Kuiper,
No.
Dylan Plattmeyer,
Aye.
Denise Rothbarber,
Aye.
Susan Steffens.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Further discussion or amendments?
yes. Mr. Chair, I would propose that we add, probably at the end of the therefores, but I'd like to see it, this phrase. Therefore, the Citizens Council recommends that the hiring timeframe be extended into 2026 to adequately include the new mayor and commission, city staff, HCC, and the public.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, there is an amendment moved by Houserath, seconded by Hammer, to insert a fourth whereas clause after the third, that says, therefore, the Helena Citizens Council recommends that the hiring timeframe be extended into 2026 to adequately include the new mayor and commission, city staff, HCC, and the public. Is there any discussion on this amendment?
Yes.
Brown?
What are the ramifications of not having a mayor during the time in 2026?
So I don't know specifically what will happen, but they would theoretically have to appoint an interim city manager. And there have been different theories and ideas of how that would work procedurally. There are further questions or discussion on this amendment? If not, we'll move into a roll call vote.
John Andrew. Aye. Diana Hammer,
Aye.
Lori Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Joseph Lehman,
Aye.
Nancy Perry,
Aye.
Ann Houserath,
Aye,
Jeff Brown,
Aye.
Paige Myers,
Aye.
Emily Mowers,
Aye.
Bob Schlott,
Aye.
Chase Eaton,
Aye.
Ben Kuiper,
Aye.
Dylan Plattmeyer,
Aye.
Denise Rothbarber,
Aye.
Susan Steffens.
no.
Amendment passes. We are now back to discussion on the main motion. Councilor Rath.
I have just a clarification on the first one where it talks about however, the current Helena City Commission sees fit. Could this be, if this goes into 2026, is current to be understood that it would be the sworn commission at that time?
I'm not sure if I know the answer to that.
I think maybe we need to clarify, right? Because I'm asking that it go into 2026. And right now, we're writing it, talking about the current mayor and commission. Is there a way of wording this that makes that clearer?
We should get rid of that. However, the current city commission sees fit. So we want to be included in the recruitment process, period.
Good solution.
Further discussion? Or
Mr. Mayor, I would move that we delete however the current Helena City Commission sees fit.
All right, there is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there is a motion to amend by House Ref to remove in the first where or therefore clause the phrase however the current city commission sees fit. That was seconded by Hammer. Is there any discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, we'll move into a roll call vote.
John Andrew,
Aye.
Diana Hammer,
Aye.
Lori Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Joseph Lehman,
No.
Sonda Gobb. Oh, sorry, Nancy Perry.
Aye.
I'm so sorry. And House Rat.
Aye.
Jeff Brown,
Aye.
Paige Myers,
Aye.
Emily Mowers,
Aye.
Bob Schlott,
Aye.
Chase Eaton,
Aye.
Ben Kuiper,
Aye.
Dylan Clapmeyer,
Aye.
Bob Haybeck. Oh, sorry, Denise Rothbarber,
Aye.
Susan Steffens.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And that phrase will be stricken. Is there any further discussion or amendments to be moved at this time? Seeing none? Is there any public comment?
No public comment.
Is there any in the room? Okay. We'll move into a roll call vote to approve the recommendation as amended. Yes would be to send it to the commission, no would be to kill it.
John Andrew,
Aye.
Diana Hammer,
Aye.
Lori Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Joseph Lehman,
Aye.
Nancy Perry,
Aye.
Ann House Rat,
Aye.
Jeff Brown,
Aye.
Paige Myers,
Aye.
Emily Mowers,
Aye.
Bob Schlott,
Aye.
Chase Eaton,
Aye.
Ben Kuiper,
Aye.
Dylan Clapmeyer,
Aye.
Denise Rothbarber,
Aye.
Susan Steffens.
Aye. Aye.
All right, recommendation passes. That will be forwarded to the commission as amended. All right, up next, we have a recommendation regarding the Helena land use plan. If we can scroll down one. As you can see on the screen, that those are the whereas clauses that kind of elaborate on the process that has gone through so far. The land use plan was a result of the Land Use Planning Act coming out of the 2023 legislative session. The city of Helena has since been in a very robust process to develop a new land use plan that has involved a joint working committee with the Planning Commission and HCC representatives. There's been a year and a half of public comment gathered, and this recommendation here, if you want to scroll down one more, essentially recommends that the city commission adopt the draft land use plan after considering any additional public comment that may be submitted before, I believe it's in November when they're considering it. So is there any discussion or comments on this recommendation? Chase Eaton.
In the second whereas clause, I think it says house Saul living, I think it's house Seal living. So just a typo.
Okay, is that a EAL or
It's EAL.
okay. Okay, that's friendly. We'll just insert that. John Andrew.
So at Monday night's commission meeting, the land use plan was accepted by resolution as introduced by Chris Brink. Come to November 17th. Public hearing, which I assume, I don't know if there'll be a presentation, but the city commission will vote on it and allow community development to move to the next step, which will be doing zoning and subdivision regulations to attach to the document.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And
It was the same as Chase.
okay. Are there any further discussions or comments on this recommendation? All right, seeing none. Is there any public comment?
There's no public comment.
Is there any in the room? Okay, with that, we'll move into a roll call vote.
John Andrew,
Aye.
Diana Hammer,
Aye.
Lori Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Joseph Lehman,
Aye.
Nancy Perry,
Aye.
Ann Houserath,
Aye.
Jeff Brown,
Aye.
Paige Myers. Paige Myers,
All right, hi.
Emily Mowers,
Aye.
Bob Schlott,
Aye.
Chase Eaton,
Aye.
Ben Kuiper.
Aye.
Dylan Clapmeyer,
Aye.
Denise Rothbarber,
Aye.
Susan Stephens.
Aye.
All right, the recommendation passes and will be forwarded to the commission. That exhausts our new business. Would you like to do the minutes now? Okay. Okay, yeah, I think we'll have time. So we'll move back into the minutes discussion that we started at the beginning. Sorry for that break and flow, so.
It's okay. I'm not trying to be a pain here, but I just think there's important stuff that's not being captured, and I think it's really hard for us as council or council representatives and for the public who might want to find out what we're talking about to find that the way the minutes are currently done. So I went back and took some time. So I think I left off at outreach committee. Oh, no, actually, coordinator report. Can we pull that? Oh, okay, you got it. Thank you. So just some funky formatting there. I don't know what that's about, but and then it said minute 26, members discuss the option of getting the city attorney's opinion. And then Ben, our chair Kuiper also requested that we have an update on that for this meeting, which I think needs to be captured as an action item. Otherwise, it's easy to lose it. Going down to outreach committee report. At least on my version, outreach committee report was next. Could we, not sure what that is. Over there, Emily, my. Oh, okay, could we pull, okay, oh, sorry, thank you, sorry. So the time is wrong. It wasn't minute 48, it was minute 28. Can we, I'd like to get that corrected. And also, I just had some suggestions to clarify the wording. The good kind building, what was that? I don't know, a little bit. We can see what you think about that thought. Under B, city board meeting attendees. I thought it, and had an important comment, and I thought it wasn't very clear the way it was written. But I had some suggestions just to clarify that. Going down to under new business budget. Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is the one where I request expenditures for the block party. I think it should be clarified that this was a District 1 issue and it was only District 1 funds. And so I had some clarifying language there. And then at minute 38 is when I requested that the council consider approving that expenditure request. Moving down to minute 39, I had a couple of clarifying suggestions there. But then after that, before the vote, there were two important points that weren't captured in the notes that I thought we really should capture. Susan Stephens asked if each district has to have its $50 in outreach expenditures approved by the full HCC, which I personally think is a fair question. And at minute 39.55, Pat Vick asks for this to also be clarified with the legal opinion from the city attorney, and Chair Kuiper agrees that this should be followed up on for the upcoming meeting. And that was not also missing. So I think, okay, and then one more, I think I just have two more things. On the under new business, a small typo. Oh, and then there's a small typo. Somewhere in here I've missed. It says that the next meeting will be November 26th. I think that might have been at the very beginning, and I I overlooked mentioning it. We don't meet the week of Thanksgiving. We always combine our November and December meetings, so that needs to be clarified. And we should maybe try to make that decision here. So everyone knows when we're meeting next, but somewhere in the notes, I've lost it for the moment. Anyway, and that, Damon, you're brand new, you wouldn't know that necessarily, but that is our practice. So thank
Yeah,
you.
well, I've only been here for 3 months. so-
Yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't expect you to know that.
Okay, would you be okay with tabling this and then proposing those drafts as a slate, just so that the body is aware of what's being moved, next
Oh.
meeting?
Oh, sure, I'll clean it up and send it out.
All right, appreciate that. So, House Rep, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I really appreciate, I am not a detail-oriented person, so when I look there and when you point out that things that I said aren't captured in the minutes, I'm going, oh, yeah. I would ask, Mr. Chair, Diana, if you would also just come up with a couple sentences of what you'd like. For instance, one of the things we would like is any questions that were asked should be listed in the minutes. Any decisions that are made should be clarified. Maybe the actual, language of the motion. So Diana, would you be willing to write that up? Because I think we
Okay.
need to, Damon's new, and we need to give him as clear guidance as possible of what you're looking for. Because I agree totally with what you're saying, but I'm not able on the fly to come up with the exact language.
If the council would like me to do that, be.
All right, so, without objection, I'd like to, recommend, well, I guess I'd like to recommend that somebody moves to table the, minutes vote until next meeting.
Some of
Is there a second? All right, there is a motion by House Rath, seconded by Fitzgerald, to table the minutes discussion for the September 24th, 2025 meeting until the November meeting. And I will do unanimous consent on this. Is there any objection to that?
I would like to abstain.
Seeing no objection, that motion will pass. Okay. At this time, we'll move into officer reports. I had a few updates for you. We had previously talked about amending the bylaws and the guiding principles. Bob Habeck and Diana Hammer created a little bit of some suggestions. Those were included in your packet. We're not going to do an action item on this tonight, but I wanted everyone to see these ideas that are coming forward. We can vote on these in November if we would like, or wait until the new HCC comes forward and a representative from the new body can bring those. It's really up to all of you, however we want to do that, but we're just continuing this ongoing conversation. So Diana, would you like to add on to that?
Can we pull up the draft bylaws that were sent around, please? But there weren't very many changes. What prompted this was we're changing our meeting time and we have to update the bylaws. And it seems maybe silly to be quite so prescriptive in our bylaws, because maybe we'll want to change it again. And it'd be nice to just be able to change our regular time and meeting place without having to go back and revise the bylaws. And while we were at it, there were a couple other things. Maybe go down to the next page. Should be highlighted and having a little bit having to do with secretary duties, if you could keep advancing to the next page. And then just a little bit clarifying what constitutes a quorum for our council. We've had some questions about that in the past, and then clarifying membership. And then I think that might have been, can you go down? I think that might be the last. Oh, there was a little bit more. Oh, and expenditures. And this just builds on the last month we had to, the whole council had to approve District 1's expenditure request. So this is just clarifying, proposing a clarification so we can maybe save the council some time in the future. I think that was the last one.
As we stated before, we're not gonna make a decision on these right now. If we are going to propose to amend these in the next meeting, we'll need to make sure that the proposed amendments meet city policy and the charter. I haven't looked into that, so I don't know yes or no on that stuff. But all of that stuff needs to flow with each other. So Fitzgerald.
Then didn't we come up with something else about elections that needed to be updated in the bylaws? Wasn't there a timing thing?
Yes, and I'll address that later in the report.
Kind of call, well, in all fairness to the new committee coming on in January, would they be would it be a disadvantage to not know what's going on if it's taken care of at the November meeting? We won't be meeting in December, I take it.
Maybe not.
Okay. Well, okay, I'm borrowing on that then.
Okay.
Because I just wondered if it would be more advantageous to the new members to coming on to know what's going on with the bylaws as far as, unless we could do a review of it, or we're always given a copy of it anyway, aren't we? I think
Right.
we have a copy.
And I think that's a fair consideration.
And we'll get an amended copy, I suppose, if we do things, okay, thank you.
Further discussion or comments on the bylaws and guiding principles amendment?
Good for trying to think on my feet.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the next item on my report, which is open meeting laws. We discussed the need for committee and district meetings to be open to the public. I said that I would look into or have somebody reach out to me regarding the MCA and get back to all of you. There's MCA that states certain definitions such as like public entity and political organization that, as a layman, I don't really know whether or not that applies to an individual district. But before we get really deep into this, I just wanted to point to Article 5, meetings, Section 5 in our bylaws that says all council, committee, and district meetings shall be open to the public. Since that's in our bylaws, clearly, I believe that should just end the discussion there. Personally, I would encourage these to be open to the public anyway, so I don't have much of a problem with that being in our bylaws. So is there any discussion on the open meeting laws stuff? Denise Barber.
Ben, I think most of us have already expressed a willingness and in fact a desire for the public to engage in our district meetings. The issue is then it goes a little too far, at least in my opinion, as far as having to record them and have a meeting agenda in advance and have meeting minutes and a recording, like I was saying. So when it's just like 3 or 4 of the district meeting to just discuss what's going on in our district and what's relevant for HCC to address. I agree with you, Ben, that it'd be great if we told the public, hey, we're doing this, if you're welcome to join our conversation. I just don't think we need to go so far as to record the meeting and go that far. So I'm just making a distinction there.
Okay. It says at the bottom of that section, the HCC will follow the city's public notice and legal requirements. I figured that since that's a city policy, that would be a city's public notice requirement, but I assume that could be open for interpretation. Any further discussion or comments on this?
Sure.
Anne?
I totally agree with it being open to the public. I don't think we should make decisions tonight, but I throw out the idea, could we word this so that no decision can be made by a small, by the small committee? In other words, if we get together just to talk about stuff, and don't make any decisions, then maybe we could, I feel that right now, carrying this far down really inhibits communication between us. And so I'm just throwing that out, that I agree they have to be open to the public, But if we don't make any decisions, then if we agree we're going to get together and make a decision, then we could send out a notice, then we could, get recorded, then we could do all of that. I mean, for instance, following the strict interpretation of the rule, Susan and Nancy and I had to record the time that we spent putting up posters in the display window. I think that is unnecessary. So I throw this out, I'd just like you all to think about it. What really meets the spirit and the letter of the law, but still allows us to be creative, to get together. Hey, I just had this idea, and something's come up, and let's get together and talk about it. And then, anyway, that's it.
Or in this case, we're inside of that window and we're discussing where we're gonna put the stickers and where we're gonna put posters.
And we
that's all
recorded this, we think, right? We're not sure.
Right.
Try.
So my understanding of city policy currently, just to use the commission as a comparison, because there's 5 of them, there's 4 people in a district meeting. If there's a quorum of the commission present, and it has to be announced that they'll be present, if there's no decision, then that will be in the announcement that there's going to be no decision made. That could be a viable avenue we could take. If that doesn't work, then perhaps we can just avoid meeting quorum when we do stuff like that. But I agree, if you're hanging things up, it wouldn't make sense to record all of that, but that's just my take. All right, Denise.
So first of all, I just want to say districts cannot make decisions anyway. So, I mean, they can decide, for example, I think with the Wood subdivision, they can decide that they have a position on the Wood subdivision that they then took to HCC. But we cannot make decisions about various things because we're not deciders. So I believe the comparison to the city commission is invalid because the city commission, they are elected officials. Their job is to make official decisions directing the city. We just advise. But I don't mind that the HCC has to comply, but with the strictest definition of the open meeting laws, but these individual districts, as I've said, and now I'm sure I sound like a broken record now, but Ben, I was also wondering if there's been any progress made yet with getting a legal opinion from the city as to why they feel that the open meeting law applies to individual districts, which, as was discussed at the last meeting, we've been asking for that since February, but we ask it amongst us, and I'm not sure if that request ever gets sent forward to the city. And along that line, in the meeting minutes, it says that Denise asked for another opinion other than the city's. And that's the last thing I want, is another opinion. What I want is a legal citation as to why that interpretation of the law is valid.
Okay, to address your point, I was informed and I saw that it was in our bylaws, strictly saying that these are open to the public. At that point, I did not pursue it further because there is plenty of stuff on everyone's plate. But, I honestly, I don't know why we would ask for a whole legal opinion when it's already in our bylaws,
What's in our bylaws?
that these meetings are open to the public.
Yeah, Ben, I've already said this though. The meetings can be open to the public, but we do not have to record them. We do not have to present an agenda. We don't have to take minutes.
Okay, I will reach out to the city attorney's office. I cannot make them do anything.
No, right. Of course, you can't make them, but we could ask for a legal citation. And please be clear, we're not asking for their opinion. We're not asking them to quote to us the charter or the bylaws. We all have access to those. We all see those. We want a legal opinion as to why they feel that they should apply the open meeting laws to individual districts. This is getting so tiresome.
Alrighty, Susan Steffens.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo and thank you, Ann and Nancy, for chiming in. That was just ridiculous what we had to do. I mean, we were, actually, the three of us were sitting in just talking about this window and we couldn't even make any decisions. That seems to me to be way over the top. I don't, as far as Ann saying decisions, I agree, but these were not major decisions. Nobody wants to be involved in these kind of decisions. So I think we need to put some language in there about that if we can.
Okay, further comments or discussion on this topic? Okay, we're gonna move into appointment procedure for vacant seats. There was a request that we get the MCA that refers to elected positions that are not filled through election. That is Montana Code annotated section 13-1-403, section B. If an election has been canceled and there are no regular or declared write-in candidates for a position, the governing body of the local government shall fill the position by appointment. The term of an appointment member must be the same as if the member were elected. So that provision applies to every new district except for District 2. They're the only district that filled all 4 of their seats. Once those vacant seats are filled by appointment by the city commission, then our bylaws would kick in if there is a vacancy after that. But all 4 of those seats need to be filled by the commission before we fill vacancies as a neighborhood district. Is there any comments or questions on that?
Thanks for the clarification.
Denise?
I may not have been following this as closely as I should have, but when did we give the city commission the authority to appoint people to the HCC?
The MCA did, we did not.
So why are we doing it now?
We did this the same exact way last time.
What does that mean? What do you mean we did the same exact thing last time?
Last time when there were not enough seats filled by the election, for example, I believe District 1 was the only one who had a competitive election last cycle. District 6, for example, didn't fill all of their seats. So whenever somebody applied for a District 6 vacancy, we saw that application as a body, and then we made a recommendation to the city commission to appoint that person to District 6. Then the city commission voted to appoint them. Regularly, when you have all 4 of your members seated and somebody resigns or is removed, the neighborhood district together makes the decision on who to appoint. That's not how this works when they are not filled by an election.
I don't understand any of that logic. I mean, in other words, why wouldn't the HCC appoint somebody to fill a vacancy in a district? Why would we be going to the city commission to do that? For one, I think they have better things to do with their time. But for two, I don't want to give the city commission control over that since
because it's the law. MCA 13-1-403, section B, which I read at the beginning of this report, specifies that they have to be appointed by the local governing body.
Isn't HCC the local governing body in this case?
No.
So all these years, decades really, that HCC has filled vacancies, we've been in violation of the law?
Not when they were all filled by election. So when all 4 of the seats were filled by an election, then we appoint any resignated or any members that resign or are removed are appointed by the neighborhoods. Is there further discussion or questions on this?
Mr. Chair, might that be something that we put in the bylaws that when there's a vacancy, that HCC will recommend people to fill the vacancy to the commission? They have to appoint them, but that it's our job to make the recommendation.
Well, when there's a vacancy or a removal, and these are seats that are filled by an election, the city charter allows the neighborhood districts to appoint those.
No, I'm not saying, I understand that. The city commission has the lawful right, the legal right to appoint. I'm just suggesting that we should assume the responsibility when there is a vacancy to recommend to the commission that I mean, this happens all the time with other, other appointments, I'm sure directors say, I want this person on this committee.
Yes, and to clarify, that's the process that we used last
So
year.
we make
Yeah,
recommendations. Okay.
when we received a application that was forwarded to the HCC, we then recommended that the
Super.
commission appoint those people.
Don't need to do anything then, apparently. Thank you.
Up front.
Are we splitting hairs between what's recommended and what's taken care of? Is that or not? Is it a fine item? Is it a fine line item? I'm sorry,
I'm not sure if I understand your
Well,
question.
I mean, giving the city commission the authority to recommend is not advisable. It should be that this committee should advise to the city commission, right? Is that what we're trying to debate here? Is that?
We have to follow the law. There's not really a debate here.
Right.
I'm telling you
I
how the
understand
process
that,
is
and
gonna
I
work.
understand. No, I'm not against it either. I'm just, for everybody's benefit, clarification that we know that, that the city commission is not. They are the supreme of the city. Am I correct?
Yeah,
And
they're
so,
the local government.
so then, you know, I mean, when I was brought on the committee, I was approved by this committee, but then I was, what do you call it? I was
Sworn in.
appointed by the city commission.
Right, because your seat wasn't filled during
Right,
election.
so we should probably just stay with the same venue, I would think.
And that's how we're approaching it for
Yes.
vacancies to the election. Jeff Brown.
So I'm looking at our bylaws. Are we skipping over Article 2, Section 3 in support of the MCA that you had quoted? Or does Article 2, Section 3 of our bylaws designate that we are the governing body, the local body? Because it says that we, when there's a district member vacancy, the protocol is to follow the city charter, Article 4, Section 4.02, which says that in the event of a vacancy on the neighborhood council, the remaining members shall appoint a person eligible to hold that position to fill the vacancy until the next general election. If there are no members in that neighborhood council, this whole citizens council may appoint a person to fill the vacancy.
Right, those sections are relating to resignations or removals, not vacant elections.
It says in the event of a vacancy. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything about resignation.
There is no vacancy when the seat wasn't elected.
What is it called then when a seat's not elected? Unfilled?
Could you put those up again, please? The bylaws, find this section.
It seems to be referred to. Okay, I'm gonna reread this section. If an election has been canceled and there are no regular or declared writing candidates for a position, the governing body of the local government shall fill the position by appointment. The term of the appointed member must be the same as if the member were elected. And that is Montana Code annotated. That's the law. So that's the way we're going to proceed.
So
who is the city charter made by the commission?
The city charter was adopted by the city.
So the commissioners are the ones that adopted it, and that is the commission is the local body.
Yes.
So if you open the city charter that's there and go to section 4.02, it doesn't talk about anybody resigning from anything. Could you clarify 4.02 section 4 under Article 4 of the neighborhood council?
In the event of a vacancy on a neighborhood council, the remaining members shall appoint a person eligible to hold the position to fill the vacancy until the next general election. A vacancy would be a resignation or a removal.
Is there can we find a definition? Is there somewhere in the city's website where that's explained? Because it doesn't make sense grammatically to me.
There are no defining sections in the charter as far as I know. Is there further discussion or comments on this?
I think we need to bring this up on another agenda. I think all of us need to look at the exact language. It appears that our charter may not now, which was done in the 70s, may not now be in compliance with Montana law. I mean, this was like 50 years ago. So I think we need to look at that, look at the bylaws and come back to it.
I don't feel we have authority to change this at all.
Well,
And my call as chair is this is what we're going to do.
No, sorry, that, I don't
You-
think,
Harlan?
Ben, it's not your place as chair to make that blanket decision. If there's
Parliamentary
disagreement
procedure
among if there is disagreement among the members, then we need to discuss it.
I can't change the law.
It's your interpretation of the law. Again, we're back to that. So I agree.
All right, we're gonna
With-
move on. Okay, we will put this on a future agenda.
Thank you.
We'll get somebody involved in the city on this. I tried. All right. HCC meeting schedule. So we have traditionally have a November meeting, which is usually the third Wednesday of the month, and because Thanksgiving is on the fourth week. So we have another section in the charter that was brought to my attention that when there is an election, let me pull this up. Section 402, Part 6, within 30 days after the election, each neighborhood council shall meet, organize, and within 60 days after the election, the mayor shall convene the neighborhood councils for a meeting of the Helena Citizens Council. As far as I've been involved, the way I remember it is we just do all of that at the January meeting. That falls outside of this timeline. I don't have a concrete plan right now, but I feel like with the November meeting, that will fall within the 30 days that the charter requires the neighborhood councils to organize. So I figured after we finish our regular meeting in November, we can then break out into the new district groups and fill this requirement from the charter. Then we would likely have to call a special meeting in December where the mayor-elect will swear in the new citizens council and we will elect a new executive board. But obviously that's going to fall within the mayor-elect's calendar. So I don't know what that's going to be yet.
Can I just jump in for a second?
Go
Just to clarify, the mayor-elect won't be sworn in until December 29th, so they won't be able to make any official action like swearing in. So it will still be Mayor Collins unless you decide to meet on or after December 29th. If that makes a difference.
Yeah, so we'll have to discuss this further and get a distinct plan, but I just wanted to put that on everyone's radar. We may do a special meeting in December with the new Helena Citizens Council to get sworn in. Comments or questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So clarification, our meeting, and we will meet in November and it'll be the third Wednesday instead of the fourth
Yes,
at 7 o'clock.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe maybe sometime in the future, we could do a special meeting in December when it's an election year and every other year I would take it as an election year or every 4 years or what?
Yes,
What is the cycle for the city commission?
It's every 2 years for the
Is it
HCC.
3 years?
Every 2 years for the
Every 2
HCC.
years. So would it be advisable to have a special meeting for this committee, this council in December? But see, we didn't, as far as I know, we didn't have a meeting last December. But now this one we do, we would like to have one. So that would put us in a kind of a schedule of meetings.
Right.
Every other year as far as.
Yeah,
Mayor.
it would essentially just be a special meeting on.
Yeah, no, I have no objection on this special meeting, but we have had and a lack of a meeting in December in the past. And it's carried us through till January, but however, this would make sense to have a special meeting in December, probably with the new elected mayor, and that should be for future.
Yeah, we'll consider that moving forward.
Yeah.
Dylan?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I apologize. I don't have the bylaws in front of me or the city charter, but I thought we talked about this a few years ago and ended up changing the bylaws. Since local elected officials take office, I think the first Monday in January. And so I thought we changed our bylaws to move that to the first January and Monday for that first meeting, to take care of that requirement. And the city charter might have been inconsistent with what statute said, but we were going with statute.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, if it contradicts with statute, then that'll have to be something we talk about. I wasn't aware of that. Diana?
Dylan, I agree with you. There's a reference in the bylaws that we didn't recommend changing that talks about by the second week in January, we'll have taken care of this. So I think it is addressed already, but we can double check.
Okay, we'll look into it. It's something that we just don't have fully fleshed out yet. I just want to put it on everyone's radar. All right, further discussion on that or general questions for the chair? All right, we will move into the treasurer's report.
Can I ask one general question?
Go ahead.
Please? So I know we're getting a new city manager, but are we still going to plan to meet with city manager to decide on recommendations that go to the city commission? Are we holding off on that or?
So when he announced his retirement, I decided to just not pursue that, considering that we're meeting one more time. And we'll open this up with the new city manager.
Okay, can we kind of keep that on maybe a running action item so we don't forget?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay, treasurer's report.
Not much of a treasury report. We have the same amount of money that we did last month, $1,649.12, as far as I know. We may be getting a request to reimburse for the Bentonian block party, but I haven't received that yet. So no new request for expenditure has come to my attention.
All right, secretary.
Two things. I will defer the outreach committee report because I wasn't there. And then secondly, just to put closure on it, I will clean up the recommended bylaws. I will bring them to the meeting and I will make, as Anne recommended, I will make a list of things I think should be included in this as a standard practice.
Coordinator.
We've already discussed the minutes, so we don't need to rehash that, but just the not necessarily official position from our office, but we've discussed it. We do have a brand new coordinator here. Like you said, he has not been here for even 3 months yet. This is his second time doing the minutes total. So he's still training and learning the ropes, and this template is the same template that we use for the commission. We use the same style for the commission, and it's the same process for going through the video, going through everything. So he is learning, trying, and would really appreciate your grace as he learns how to do that. That being said, if the body decides that you would like to see something different, you do have a secretary. All other board secretaries for the advisory boards in the city do their own minutes. So if that's something that you would like to take on, we have templates, we have tutorials, and we really try to make it as easy as we can. So if that's something that you would like to talk about in your bylaws discussion, I encourage that. Next, I'd like to give just a quick scenario for the open meeting laws consideration. So let's say District 6, because there's nobody in District 6 right now and we can pick on them, decide that they want to, let me back up. 3 members of District 6 get together over coffee and decide we want to be the pilot program for the special improvement district for sidewalks in the city. We want all safe routes to schools. We want sidewalks to be funded by an assessment fee through everyone in our district. Awesome. They bring it to the HCC as a recommendation. You guys love it. Send it on to the city manager. He loves it. It gets onto the commission agenda. They love it. Now, everyone in that district is paying an assessment fee. But nobody in that district knew that there was this meeting happening over coffee with these 3 people because there wasn't an agenda. It wasn't posted anywhere. There's no minutes for them to go back. They didn't take any public comment because maybe other people in this district didn't think this was a great idea. Now we're spending money, other people's money, and they didn't have the ability to comment on that. And they didn't have the ability to make their voice heard through this public process. That is why we open these meetings to the public, and that's why we have agendas. That's why we have minutes. That's why we go through this process. So great, invite the public to your meetings, do it through the process so that we have things to point to. We have paper trails, we have backing, and because it's professional. So that's just a scenario for you to chew on. Lastly, sadly, this will be my last meeting with you. I've accepted a new position in the Department of Corrections, so my last day is Friday, and Damon can take it from here.
Well, thank you for stepping in while we were in interim status and appreciate all the work.
Thank you.
Denise, 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 you're muted. Can you guys hear me all right? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry
Yeah,
about that.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay,
It's shot. So Denise, you had your hand raised?
I did. I want to address an incorrect statement in that scenario that was just presented to us. When the 3 people sit and have coffee and they have an idea, they bring it to the HCC. That meeting discussion is fully advertised, open to the public. It's on the agenda. The meeting minutes are available for the public. The decisions are available for the public for HCC. Then that discussion, well, there's 2 corrections I want to make. We don't have to pass our suggestions to the city manager for approval to get on the agenda. He or she is not a gatekeeper. So we go directly to the commission and ask them to consider our suggestion. That's all we ever do, is we just make suggestions. Then the city commission has a full discussion about this, and they decide whether or not they're going to approve that decision. And yet again, there's yet another opportunity for all those members in that district who don't want to pay those taxes to let the decision makers know that. A really incorrect scenario. And I just want to correct that for the record. I don't want that hanging out there as if that's the truth, because it wasn't.
Further comments or
And that was
questions?
unprofessional to even make that scenario.
Further comments or questions? Hi, seeing none. Is there anything else on the coordinator report? Okay, we'll move into outreach.
Actually, can I make one, I know, I don't want to belabor this, but, would like to make a comment. Alex, and I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but we are not an advisory board. And unlike the city advisory boards, we have a coordinator who's paid to help us. And I'm happy to help with the minutes. But I think as part of, unless the job description has changed substantially, the HCC coordinator has always prepared the minutes and we've reviewed them. So if you're suggesting that I should do them, we can certainly talk about that as a body, but I think it's important to make the distinction that we are an independent, publicly elected body. We are not a city commission appointed advisory board. We're different. And I just want to clarify that too. Thank you.
All right, outreach report.
Yeah, so outreach, we discussed at our last outreach meeting that we would be focusing on the Helena Art Walk, which is coming up on November 7th. So members, if you guys have time that evening, per usual, we usually do it in 2-hour chunks. We would love volunteers. If you could please reach out to me if you have time on November 7th in the evening. It's from 4 to 8 p.m. We would appreciate getting at least a few volunteers per like section of the art walk. And our art walk, our communication will be, of course, focused on outreach, letting them know who we are, what we do, how we fit into the city government, and everything like that. But we will also be kind of asking about community and how folks engage with their community, and how kind of testing the waters on how they feel about organizing as communities for like block parties and things like that. And then also Anne brought up if anybody has any suggestions of ways that they and their neighbors are already building community, and ways that they would like to see their community, like their neighborhoods building community, we would like to hear that too. And you could maybe send that to myself and I'll pass along to our outreach committee. And then we did have at our meeting the public health, like it was the public health board, like Lewis and Clark Public Health Board, correct? Other outreach committee members that were there. Am I getting that correct? I missed the first few minutes, so I missed her introduction.
Can we get a clarification on that?
Honestly, it was somebody from the Lewis and Clark Public Health, but I think she's a staff person. Is that different from the board? Anyway,
That's a great question.
We can go back to
It is different.
We can go back to the minutes from that outreach meeting.
Yes,
Possible.
we can, and I can send out a clarification afterwards. I apologize. I realized in the moment I don't actually remember what her title was. But she came to our meeting to talk to us a little bit about how they are working on art walks, and or not art walks, sorry, how they are working on block parties. And she did give us a handout about what they're kind of seeing for like neighborhood parties, which is they're trying to find a way to sponsor neighborhood parties throughout Helena, just to help communities, well, help neighborhoods build community amongst themselves in a public health effort. So from a public health setting, and then also talking about emergency preparedness amongst your neighbors and things like that. They are putting together an advisory board just kind of to help give input and direction and ideas on how to potentially get funding, and how to communicate this out to the public, and how they could best utilize the funds to get them into the neighborhoods. And they have invited HCC to be a part of that. They were very enthusiastic about it. I don't know if we can vote on that tonight. Ben, is that something we would have to do next time?
I believe we could just take volunteers. I don't think that's a decision we need to vote on.
Okay, cool, sweet. I'm happy for that then. They extended an informal invitation to us to be on the board, and I said that we might have to vote on it, and she said she would extend a formal invitation after our meeting this month. So I know Anne has been really invested in the block parties, and I'm sure that she would be interested, but I can get more information and make sure that's communicated so we can get volunteers who have the time and the bandwidth to be on that board and helpful in that capacity, if that seems reasonable.
Yeah, do you think that they would need to step in before our November meeting? Because we certainly could vote to appoint these people.
They did want to do a meeting in early November, their first meeting for this advisory kind of board. So I do think that we would need folks before then.
Okay. All right. And
Mr. Chair,
yeah,
very interested in this. Emily's gonna be given a good description of what it is. It requires no money from us. It's a matter of partnering, being part of their, isn't a consortium, what's the word, the coalition. I'd be glad to represent HCC and we could probably have somebody else too. I think it's great. They're seeking funds to do this. They're gonna help coordinate it. It's something HCC has been interested in for a long time, to make it cheaper and easier to do this. So anyway, I would be glad to do this. And I would suggest that we vote on it tonight. I don't see any downside to it.
I have a clarifying question.
Sure.
Is it the Healthy Communities Coalition?
No.
No, it is the Lewis and Clark Public Health. I just had the pamphlet out, and of course I didn't look at it appropriately. It is, we had at our meeting, Amber Johnson, from Lewis and Clark County, and it's Lewis and Clark Public Health that is working on this, neighborhood parties project.
Okay. Yeah, she's a staffer with the county, yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Is there further discussion on this? Okay, is there any objection to having Ann be the HCC representative on that board? All right, and
Thank you.
okay,
Oh, Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
Just to reiterate, for this, I think the art walk is gonna be, Emily, do you mind? And I think it's gonna be really fun. The Chamber of Commerce has agreed to make use the sandwich board and make things for us. So one side will be, what are you already doing to build community in your neighborhood? The other one is, what can the city do to help you build community? And to do this, it's gonna be super simple. I'll be outside, no matter what the weather, accosting people, but we'll need, and I'm very good at this, Nancy can attest to it. We need, ideally, we'd like to have 3 other volunteers, and Nancy is gonna do one of them. So please, it's really fun. We're gonna just here are the things that we're gonna put up categories on the board. All people have to do on that one side is just take it to Magic Marker and mark. So we'll then have time to talk more about HCC and what we do and what district they're in. So please, either get to Emily and volunteer. It's 2 hours. It's really fun. People are happy. And hopefully we'll get a lot of information.
Actually.
Yes, and just to throw a clarifying comment in there, we will be at Birds and Beasley's again, so not everybody has to stand outside, but it would be very preferable if someone else hung out with Ann outside.
But I'm perfectly happy to do the rain or shine. I grew up in Western Oregon. I don't mind snow. So
She's ready.
anyway, but we do need.
We'll wait for the system to okay. Are there any further questions for outreach?
Not for Paige, but for the idea of the volunteers being at the art walk. Is there any reason why 3 badges can't be made for each individual, and they can be made and carried on to use next time the art walk or whenever, a badge of identification that we are on the
We have
HCC?
vests. We have vests that identify us as HCC members that I believe should be with the city coordinators.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I have my elevator speech is, we're members of the HCC. We are an independent body that advises the city on the budget.
Oh, I
development.
understand that, Ann. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cause a
Yeah,
problem.
no, but
I'm
that's,
just saying, we have vests. I don't remember wearing a vest, but that last time I was there, but that's been a while. So
Yeah.
I did it with you, Nancy.
You
I think.
also got a badge when you became a member.
Yeah.
I want my name tag. Yeah.
Okay, you should be.
That question's been addressed.
Thank you.
We're gonna move into commission and board reports.
I apologize, by the way, this is the wrong dates on here. I'm sorry, please be patient with me. I apologize, I put the wrong dates on there.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm not trying to cause waves. Or.
Okay.
Okay, probably.
No.
Okay, so we had an admin meeting on the 1st. Then I have a report for that.
I was there. I sent in a report, but it might not be, it was kind of Right, sorry. Let me get some. Um. Mr. Leland brought up curbside recycling. And that the contract is gonna end at the end of the year. They took a bid for proposals for a new contract. To include glass collection, because apparently the city subsidized that. Well, and as a standalone system, the city subsidizes billing and the containers, so they wanted it to be a standalone system. 406 Recycling, or is it Helena Recycling, was the only person that bid. And so they were appointed to have this curbside recycling. It'll be $22 a month instead of 16, which is current. And then I believe the city will subsidize $8 of that, like they do currently for each person who has it. And then we had a presentation by Ms. Jacobson, who is the new sustainability coordinator. She's delightful, very smart. She talked about different ways that she was working on sustainability projects, the chicken grant where people get chickens, different ways they've used a block grant that they received for xeriscaping solar replacement part at Bill Roberts and buying an EV Ford Lightning. That was, we also had the group again that asked to get on the agenda to discuss the Helena Police Department not supporting ICE. They didn't. Nothing really. That's like the 5th time I think they've come to ask to get on the agenda. The young people. And that was it. So the 1st.
Okay, October 6th.
Unfortunately, I missed that meeting.
Okay, we had another admin meeting on the 15th. Anyone report on that? Okay, the 20th regular commission meeting. They discussed they set a public hearing date for the consideration of the Helena land use plan. That was November 17th is what they decided on. The wastewater and sewer rates, the consideration for the increase in those was approved by the commission. Those were inflationary increases. And then there was mission consensus for a proposal for community input survey and community listen session prior to November 5th for the city manager recruitment process. Are there any questions on any of the commission reports we have had so far? Okay, we'll move into board reports. MPO.
Okay. This Monday, the MPO Tech Committee met. Right now, they're in the public information gathering of the long-range transportation plan. There was an open house last night. There was an open house in East Helena tonight. The online version of, there's a survey and a virtual open house still open through October 31st. The website is Greater Helena MPO, and I think it's .com. So I encourage all of you to go online, fill out the survey, look at the map. There will be other opportunities to communicate, but that's what they're doing right now. And I went to the open house last evening and thought it was very good. It was very informative.
All right, planning board.
They met last night, the senior planners from the county and the city just gave updates on the Helena land use plan and the county growth policy. Growth policy has been accepted by the commission and they're moving forward with updating their subdivision and zoning regulations. And then the city, of course, is waiting for November 17th to start their process forward.
Okay, public arts.
I apologize. I was not able to attend this month's meeting, but I do have notes from the September meeting. The band shell, it is quite damaged, and they have got the budget to repair it, the city does. Repairs will start around August 2026, and then the mural would likely start in September. Traffic signal boxes, the city was able to switch companies that were installing the wraps and actually save the city some money. And HPAC would like to do some recycle bins in the spring. That is all.
Okay. CCB. Anyone go to the conservation board? All right, library board. Golf. Parks board.
Oh, there was no meeting yet yesterday. They back up here.
Okay, no golf.
There was no quorum, so there was no meeting, but they will meet in November or they won't. They'll have to meet in November. 2 months without, so.
Affordable housing. And water quality.
We meet next week.
Okay. Are there any boards or committees I missed? Okay, we already did new business, so we'll move into member communications. Are there any member communications? Anything for the good of the order? Paige?
I have 3 things. Is it possible to do them all at once, or would you like to
Yeah, go
call
ahead.
on me again and again?
You have the floor.
Okay, thank you. I had a question about standing committees because I'm working on a recommendation to add a new standing committee. If I, as a member of just HCC, not a member of outreach committee, if I went to an outreach meeting, I would be considered a member of the public?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Paige, this is,
Yes.
this is Diana. We don't have actually a membership list. Anyone who wants to be on the outreach committee is welcome to come. And I think the only official position is me as secretary and Emily as chair. And we have other members, but there's no membership list. So I think you'd be welcome to come. My opinion.
Sorry, if I could clarify, I'm just concerned about what would be considered quorum. I know we don't, this is getting nitpicky, but I am concerned about what quorum would be in order to conduct a standing committee meeting.
It would depend on how we wanted to structure the standing committee. You could outline a certain amount of members would meet quorum.
Okay. Thank you. And then to my second point, because this recommendation would be to adjust the Helena City Citizens Council bylaws, would this is more than just grammar and clarification, so would this be its own separate topic, or would it be appropriate to get with Bob and Diana to add this to their work?
You go either way. You could coordinate with them or just do your own amendment, bring it forward, however you'd like to proceed.
Well, Paige, speaking for myself, but since Bob isn't here, we'd welcome your help with that, and you're happy to join us if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. Final thing, I did raise my hand to comment on the vacancy issue that we discussed, and that was tabled, and I am more than willing to save my comment for the next meeting, but I would just like it noted that I did not get to comment.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't see that.
I understand it was a time.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that is it. Thank you.
Okay. Further member communications? Okay, is there any public comment?
There's no public comment at this time.
Is there any in the room?
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Litter with the League of Women Voters, which I'm not sure I'm supposed to tell you or not, but at any rate, anybody past 6 feet from me cannot read what's up there. It's like you either enlarge it or just bother with not doing it and let us read the papers that we get. Because it's impossible. I could be French. Except for the city of Helena.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Any further public comment? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Did you? Mom's gonna be right. Can I get it right? Yeah.